What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm taking a look at the sneaker releases in the first half of June and whether I think each one of those shoes is going to sit on shelves or sell out. If you've seen this video before, you understand how it works. If you haven't, it's pretty self-explanatory. I take a look at the sneaker releases from the 1st to the 15th of any given month. I let you know a little bit about each shoe and what I think about each shoe, and then whether I think each shoe is going to sell out immediately or sit on shelves. Of course, you can't forget that release dates often change, whether that's a shoe getting pushed back or a random release appearing out of nowhere. You never know exactly what's going to happen, so this list could be out of date in like a couple days. I hate to say it, but it's sometimes true. But before we jump into things, I'm actually doing a giveaway with Untied Hawaii, another awesome YouTuber who you should definitely check out if you haven't yet, for a pair of Travis Scott Air Jordan 1s. I know, it's pretty crazy. I don't even have a pair yet, so. Entering is super simple. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel and Untied Hawaii's channel, then follow both of us on Instagram and on Twitter, and all the links to do so will be in the description below. Then you comment done and where you're located on the video where we first announced this giveaway, which is also linked in the description below. And that's it. That's how you can win a free pair of $1,200 sneakers. And I'm so jealous. But without further ado, let's jump right into the month because June is pretty crazy. So starting things off on June 1st, we've got a bunch of stuff dropping, but the first one of those releases is the Nike Air Zoom Rookie Memphis Tigers. The Nike Air Zoom Rookie was incredibly popular a couple years back when the Foamposites were popular, but since then it hasn't really been moving in the same way. It's a slightly uncomfortable shoe and it's not something that people really like to wear around, and I gotta be honest, this Memphis Tigers look, especially since I'm not a Memphis Tigers fan, is definitely not my thing. From a purely visual point of view, not accounting for the Memphis Tigers, I think the shoe sucks. I don't like the way it looks at all. That's just me personally. But if you're into the Memphis Tigers or you like sort of a blue tiger stripe color scheme, this shoe could be great for you. But honestly, I think most people are probably going to feel the same way about this shoe that I feel. So for that reason, I think it's gonna sit. Next up is the Adidas UltraBoost 19 Pride. Unlike some of the other sneakers in the Adidas Pride collection, this shoe is definitely a bit more muted. It features a subtle rainbow color scheme, but the overall color of the shoe is more of an off-white. The UltraBoost 19, in my opinion, is the most comfortable UltraBoost ever made. It just kind of sucks that the actual aesthetic of the sneaker, the overall shape of the UltraBoost 19, isn't as good as the previous UltraBoosts. This sneaker is fine, the implementation of the colorway isn't anything special, and for that reason, I think the shoe's gonna sit. After that, we've got the Adidas Continental 80, also in the Pride colorway. This colorway takes a very similar approach to the UltraBoost 19's colorway in that it features a primarily off-white or cream-colored upper with a small hint of a rainbow flag running down the side. Again, the look is fine. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing incredibly special. So for that reason, I think it's gonna sit. And then finally, rounding off the collection, we've got the Adidas Oswego Pride. This shoe is by far the most colorful of the three, and it features a full rainbow midsole. I can't speak for the comfort of the shoe, but based on the look of the midsole itself, it doesn't seem like it's that soft, and so it's not something I'm really interested in. And honestly, I don't think the Oswego is that popular of a silhouette, so for that reason, I think it's gonna sit. Following that up, we've got the Nike Air Max 1 De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox plays for the Sacramento Kings, and this shoe is part of a 3-pack of NBA player sneakers. It's obviously not a performance basketball sneaker, and I like the fact that Nike is experimenting with tying players' names to shoes that aren't overtly basketball shoes. The colorway itself is pretty clean and has a mismatched upper, which I think is dope. It's definitely a shoe that I'm gonna try and pick up, and is one of the first Air Max 1 colorways all year that I think I'm really into. Not counting the Air Max Susan Missing Link, because that shoe is dope. It's all but confirmed that this shoe will be coming out in pretty limited quantities, so for that reason, I think it's gonna sell. Next up is the Kobe 4 Protro Black Del Sol. The Kobe 4 Protro has been an incredibly popular model, and because Nike hasn't really spammed us with colorways yet, it still maintains some of its hype. Out of all the Kobe 4 Protros that have dropped so far, I think this one's my favorite because it's probably the most wearable, and I think black and yellow colorways, as much as I don't like the Steelers, are pretty dope. Let's go Ravens, division champs, no big deal. That said, this is a good colorway on a popular shoe, so for that reason, I think it's gonna sell. Also on the first, we've got the Air Jordan 7 Ray Allen. For whatever reason, I've never been a big fan of Ray Allen colorways on shoes, and it's nothing against him, definitely not, because he's an incredible player. It's also not even anything against the Celtics, because I don't mind green. But for whatever reason, the colorways that are put on his shoes are kind of bleh. And as much as I like black and purple as colors, I think on this shoe, they're kind of boring. I don't know. I'm probably in the minority when it comes to this shoe. I think a lot of people really do like the way that it looks, but in my opinion, it's not something that I really want to pick up. This one also kind of has me second guessing myself because originally I thought this shoe was gonna sit, but I've seen a lot of people really excited about this shoe, but at the same time, Jordans have been sitting more often than not. I I don't know what to say. Honestly, I'm leaning towards it not selling out because there are a lot of other crazy releases dropping on the 1st, so for that reason, I'm gonna give it a sit. I could totally be eating my words later, I have no idea, it's just kind of a dull shoe. Then after that, we've got the in-store release of the Air Jordan 1 SP Gina. The Air Jordan 1 SP, or Shoe Palace Gina, is a shoe that's based off of a Shoe Palace customer called Gina. Apparently, she's one of Shoe Palace's most loyal customers and buys every single Jordan release to come out in store. Now honestly, she must be loaded because that's crazy. And apparently to reward her for her loyalty, Jordan Brand is giving her her own colorway, which is pretty cool. Now the shoe is exclusively releasing with Shoe Palace, which means it's only dropping in their stores and online, and the online release already took place. So if you're trying to grab this shoe, you have to go in store at a Shoe Palace location, and I can guarantee you quantities will be very limited. So based on the story and also the fact that there aren't too many pairs available, I definitely think this shoe is gonna sell out. Next, we have a pretty wild colorway of the Nike Air Fear of God 1s in Orange Pulse. This is an all sort of creamsicle or neon orange colorway of the Nike Air Fear of God 1, and it definitely might turn some people off. However, it is still a Nike Air Fear of God 1, and a lot of people missed out on that shoe, so a lot of people will be going for it. I really prefer the more earth tone versions of this shoe. I think they're a lot more wearable, but if you really like a pop, then this is a good way to go. I mean, I don't think it looks bad, I just think it could have benefited from some color variation, like it's a monochromatic orange shoe, and that's fine, but it's not for me. Regardless of how I feel about this shoe, the limited quantities and the hype behind this sneaker means that this shoe is definitely going to sell out. And then rounding off the first, we've got another colorway of the Nike Air Fear of God 1s, this time in Frosted Spruce. This sort of mint colorway of the Fog 1s, in my opinion, looks so much better than that orange colorway. It's just so much more wearable. Don't get me wrong, it's still out there and it's still crazy, but I like green better than I like orange. And that's not true for everybody. That's just my personal preference. Of course, being a Fear of God 1, there is no question this shoe is definitely gonna sell out. Moving on to June 6th, we've got the Adidas Yeezy Boost 700 V2 in the black or Vanta colorway. Now this release is kind of interesting because I don't know the exact release date, because on the Adidas app, it says you can pick it up on the 31st if you win the raffle, but on the Adidas website, it says the release is happening on the 6th. Now I'm obviously filming this video way before either of those releases, so I can't give you a solid answer on which day the release date is, but I would say if you're looking for this shoe, stay vigilant and keep up to date on when it's dropping. That aside, I think it's actually a pretty clean 700 V2. I think this all black colorway is one that we actually needed and we wanted. There's not too much to be said about this sneaker because of course it's all black, but regardless, I think it's a good looking shoe and I think a lot of people are excited for it. Because this is a highly anticipated colorway and of course because of the fact that it's a Yeezy, I definitely think this shoe is gonna sell out. Moving on to June 7th, we've got the undercover Nike Daybreak in yellow. I'm not too familiar with this silhouette, and the first thing I noticed about this shoe was that kind of crazy heel counter. It's definitely a shoe that when you wear it, people will notice because it's a very out there and interesting looking sneaker. Not 100% my thing, but if I can grab a pair to review, I won't be mad about it. I actually kind of like the yellow on the shoe. I don't have a lot of yellow sneakers, but this one is not a bad looking yellow version of a shoe. And of course, it's an undercover collaboration, which means it's going to be relatively limited and it's probably going to be a little hyped. So for that reason, I think it's going to sell. Also on the 7th, we've got a blue version of that same undercover Nike collaboration. Same sort of deal, I think it's an interesting looking sneaker, and personally I think this blue colorway is more wearable than the yellow colorway. But in my opinion, if you're gonna grab a shoe that already looks crazy enough with that heel counter, might as well go all out and grab the yellow one because it's the most eye-catching. Regardless, it is still a limited collaboration, and for that reason I think people will still be going for this shoe, so I'm gonna give this shoe a sell. Then we've got the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 in the black colorway. This is sort of like the Pirate Black 2.0 colorway that we always wanted, and I've got to say, I'm super hyped on this shoe. Yes, it's simple, but it's really been a colorway that people have been wanting since the V2 first released, and I'm so happy that it's finally coming out. The shoe is primarily black with a semi-translucent stripe on the lateral side. It's also got 3M woven into its laces and a red accent stitched into its heel tab. It's a simple but super clean Yeezy Boost 350 V2, and it's one of the first 350s in a while that I really feel like I need to have. And of course, being a Yeezy Boost 350 V2, this shoe is definitely going to sell. Moving on to June 8th, we've got the Nike Kyrie 5 Have a Nike Day. The Have a Nike Day collection dropped a couple weeks ago, and I'm surprised that this shoe didn't drop with that collection. It was an interesting group of sneakers. It wasn't something that I really liked. I'm not a huge fan of pastel colors on my shoes, especially not like teal and pink together on my shoes, but it didn't look bad. It's an okay looking Kyrie 5, it's nothing special. However, I do have to say that I think Kyrie has done a great job on his signature line of sneakers of really creating a lot of different interesting colorways, and I think this is just another option to add to that lineup. I think it's It's fine, but I don't think it's anything special. The Kyrie 5 is, however, an excellent on-court performer, so if you've always wanted a Kyrie 5 or you have Kyrie 5s and you just like this colorway, this is a great way to go. That said, even though this colorway may be more limited than other Kyrie 5 colorways, I don't think it's going to be that difficult to get, and I really don't think this shoe is going to sell out. Next up is the Adidas Parley Alpha Edge 4D. I'm a huge fan of the Parley collaboration because what it entails is essentially taking plastics from the ocean and then using them as materials on the upper of sneakers. That, paired with the fact that they 3D printed the midsole, makes this sneaker a pretty interesting technological innovation. Now, from what I can tell, I think the recycled materials are only used in the upper. I don't think you can actually 3D print recycled plastic. I could be wrong, and I haven't done too much reading up on this sneaker, but from my own personal experience, I don't think that's something that can be done yet. It would be super cool if they actually did use recycled plastics in the 3D printed midsole, and again, I'm not sure if that's what they did. I just doubt that they did that. But if they did do that, this shoe is a must cop because I'd love to know how it feels on foot. The one thing that's kind of making me question whether this shoe will be an instant sellout or will sit on shelves for a couple weeks is that 4D sneakers haven't been moving the way that they were moving last year. It's not that crazy to walk into a sneaker store and find a pair of 4Ds sitting. Now that might only be for like large metropolitan areas like New York, Tokyo, and places like that, but I haven't had too much trouble finding them a couple days after release. That said, I think the shoe is such a cool innovation, and I'd like to see Adidas do more of that, and I think for Adidas to do more of that, the shoe has to sell. So for that reason, I'm gonna be optimistic and hope that this shoe sells out. Next up is the Air Force 1D Book. This is another one of those Nike collaborations with NBA stars that I mentioned earlier. And of course, it's with Devin Booker on the Air Force 1. Out of the 3 NBA collab sneakers that are dropping, I think this one might be my least favorite because the colorway is a little bit dull. That doesn't mean that I don't like Devin Booker or I don't like the fact that Nike is doing this collaboration. It's just not a shoe that I'd really run out and buy. People may still be excited about this sneaker, especially if they're a Devin Booker fan or they love Air Force 1s, but I don't see as many people running out to grab this shoe as I do with the Air Max 1s. So for that reason, I'm going to give this Air Force 1 a sit. Then moving on to June 14th, we've got 4 different colorways of the Air Jordan 4 Flyknit. The monochromatic colorways include Total Orange, University Red, Volt, and Hyper Royal. I understand that they're going for a summer theme, so they want to release bright and crazy colors, but why didn't they do the same thing that they did with the 3s and release an all black colorway? Because people would buy that. I'm not against Flyknit Air Jordans. I think they're fine. I think they have their place. I actually really like the Flyknit Air Jordan 1s. I wear it on a somewhat regular basis. But when you make a shoe that looks like this that wouldn't even sell in an all leather colorway, why do you think it's gonna sell in a full Flyknit colorway? Also, these 4s are more expensive than regular 4s, which I don't get. I just don't think this is a good move on Jordan Brand's part. I like the idea that they're going with a Flyknit 4, I think that's fine, but these colorways, they just suck. Imagine if they had given us a Flyknit Bred 4. They did the same thing with the Bred 1s. They gave us the regular Bred 1s and then the Flyknit Bred 1s, and the Flyknit Bred 1s actually sold out. So why didn't they do the same thing with the Flyknit 4s? I think that would have actually moved some pairs. I think these are probably gonna sit. I do have to say though, there is sometimes a phenomenon that happens when a new silhouette of a Jordan or a Nike basketball sneaker releases where it sells out in the first colorway because that's the first time the shoe is released. And I think if they release these in limited quantities, that could happen. But I think we all have to be honest with ourselves, and if we knew that these shoes were releasing in wide numbers to everybody, no one would probably buy this shoe. Then moving on to June 15th, the last day covered in today's video, we've got the Air Max 97 Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is another excellent NBA player who could have been on the Sixers if we didn't go for Markelle Fultz. I don't know why that happened. And his Air Max 97 is not a bad looking shoe. I definitely don't think this shoe will be as popular as De'Aaron Fox's Air Max 1, and that's primarily due to the fact that the Air Max 1 is by far the most popular out of those 3 shoes, at least for collaborations. Obviously, sales-wise, the Air Force 1 will always beat out the Air Max 1, but on a collaborative sneaker, I think the Air Max 1 has the edge. This sneaker features red, black, and gray accents, and overall is a pretty clean look. And if you like Jason Tatum or really like the way this sneaker looks, I say go for it. But because this sneaker is coming in limited quantities and it is on a relatively popular silhouette, I think this shoe is gonna sell. The last 2 sneakers on the list both have tentative release dates, which means both of these release dates aren't set in stone. In fact, I'd even argue that both of these release dates are just kind of rumors and nothing's for sure yet. The first one of those shoes is the Adidas Yeezy Boost 700 V2 in the Tephra colorway. This is an interesting, almost multicolor earth tone Yeezy 700 V2, and I think out of all the 700 V2s, it's probably the most varied when it comes to colors. I'm not personally in love with it. In fact, I don't even really like the way that it looks. I much prefer other V2 colorways, but it's not bad. Other than the fact that this is a 700 V2 and the colorway sort of looks like that, I don't know anything else about the sneaker, and I don't even know how limited it's going to be, but because it's a 700 V2 and it's a Yeezy, I think it's going to sell. And then finally, the last shoe on the list is the Travis Scott Air Jordan 6s. Again, this date is a tentative release date. This shoe was rumored to release last month, and it didn't, and now it's rumored to release this month, so you never know when it's actually going to drop. This olive-colored Travis Scott Air Jordan 6 is a pretty clean look. I really like the minimal aesthetic of the shoe and the fact that they didn't throw too many crazy colors on it. I also think the pocket on the side of the shoe is a nice touch. Other than that, no one's really had that good of a look at it yet, so there's not too much known about the sneaker other than the fact that it's a Travis Scott collaboration. And as you probably could have assumed based on the other Travis Scott collabs, this shoe will definitely sell out. But that's pretty much it for all the releases in the first half of June. Don't forget that release dates often change, so this list isn't going to be perfect, maybe a week or two out, because you never know what's going to happen. Of course, don't forget to enter the Air Jordan Travis Scott giveaway that I'm doing with Untied Hawaii. Once again, the links to do so are in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.